Yeah.
Okay, let's see how these free speeches go back to back, because they look like they're less than a minute apart.
A short contribution on the District Court Judges Amendment Bill. It looks like the Justice Committee's picked up a couple of jobs tonight. I went away out of the House for a few moments, and I think we've had the Sentencing Reform Amendment Bill referred to us, and I want to thank my colleague Cameron Luxon for stepping in and doing a speech on that. ACT will, of course, be supporting this because this bill goes hand in hand with the Sentencing Reform Bill by increasing the number of District Court judges to 183, and so that will be needed to deal with the changes we are making. I did wonder whether Dr. Duncan Webb actually wanted these bills split just so he could give 2 speeches, but I know he will be a diligent member of the Select Committee when these bills come before it, and so we look forward to scrutinising this very short bill, which again just adds an extra judge, and I commend it to the House. Thank you.
Honourable Cassie Costello.
Mr Speaker, I rise on behalf of New Zealand First in support of the District Court Judges Amendment Bill, which is addressing a very obvious need in our judicial system, and I have great delight in commending the bill to the House.
Mariameno Kapa-Kingi.
Kia ora, Mr Speaker, kia ora tātou te whare. Well, it might start being a brief contribution, might end up being a very long one, but here we go. Small bill, big impact. It's a slippery slope, and I get the pragmatics of getting 182 to 83 and 183, and it might sound like it sounds okay, it sounds pretty harmless. But what I want to talk to in that regard is that to make room more judges simply means for Māori, let's just open that pipeline up for more Māori to just roll down that, and let's get another judge in so we can just make more room for Māori to be in front of courts. As much as it might irritate people to hear that, the fact of the matter is this is a true and ongoing and historic, terrible, terrible reality. And why do I know that? Because I used to work in the courts. And I used to work with young people, used to work in the family harm court and family harm teams more recently, Mr Speaker. And it showed the racial profiling. It showed how there's an expectation. When you look at the screen, this is a little bit of context, Mr Speaker, sorry, just to tolerate that a little bit if you might. So you can imagine the screen comes up in the morning, 25 cases reported, then you got this mugshot, and they choose the worst mugshot of this Māori guy. It's just like you get the worst photo and put it up there, and every piece of information, 5 sheets following, that describes this person is based on that horrible photo in that picture. If we can address that kind of racism, that systemic racism, those issues which are all about oppression, poverty, let's have a look at that, and then I might even say you might need to reduce the judges, Mr Speaker. But let me just put those points in front in the very first reading, and I look forward to the next. Kia ora tātou.
Better photos, and hey, wouldn't having more judges kind of like, I don't know, help Māori get out of jail?
Yeah, she can hit and miss when she comes to her speeches.
But I agree, having better photos.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm just going to go back to a thing that was mentioned a bit before. Are we behind when it comes to our courts? Because you mentioned that, Nick, that we were on a lot of paper, and are we quite behind in terms of the comparable countries that we compare ourselves to? Are they digital over there, and we're still quite behind when it comes to the courts and digitization and stuff?
Yeah, massively. I mean, hugely. Yeah. I mean, I think you could compare it to like pre-internet for a start. There a lot of comparable court systems are operating with the benefit of the internet. You submit your documents to the court, through internet-enabled systems, and then you just go down to the court. This is from the lawyer's perspective. You go down to court, and then you sit in front of a screen, and all of the documents that you will be talking to are right in front of you there. There's no need to bring, huge amounts of paper documentation with you.
You don't get it blown away down Lambton Quay on the way to the courthouse?
None of that, yeah. So every documentation will be submitted to the court, and then it just comes up on a screen. So, yeah. So we're in the dark ages.
Was it work and income still have a very weird quasi system where they've got to effectively have stuff located in 4 different programs to sit down there and do just their basic things. The only government department that I'd say is well into the 21st century would be IRD and the Electoral Commission. And in the case of the Electoral Commission was the fact that they contracted out to New Zealand Post. So New Zealand Post, they were quite well ahead of it. Put it this way, the Electoral Commission was well ahead of the laws when it came to digitising. In the case of IRD, they spent $1 billion to bring up to the system we have now, where effectively everything is digitised and it's very well up there. but it's taken it's taken a long time from when that project first got announced to when it's actually happening. It's been 10 years, well, at least 10 years. So it is depending on that. I mean, Work and Income still pays benefit using the payment system called SWIFT, which is a system from the 1980s. I mean, put it this way, SWIFT cannot cope with people working weekends. SWIFT cannot cope with public holidays and early benefit payments. You know, it is.
So
I mean, it's out of date.
You're right, Sam. I mean, the MSD have a project at the moment called Te Pai Tawhiti, which is the project to upgrade all of their IT systems. But I think it's on track at the moment. But
it could be derailed by the government.
It's subject to budget constraints, and but we really need it to go in because ultimately.
Yeah. I mean, you shouldn't have to ring up MSD, wait on hold for an hour to say, hi, can you please open the drop link box so I can upload my documents?
Yeah.
Is there not a ministry for digitising government, or is that more?
No.
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 It was.
Put it this way: your local school or local secondary school will be well ahead of the game than a government department.
Is it because of budget constraints, or is it because of lack of government funding, lack of?
It could also be CEOs. It could be budgets. It could be the fact that it could be ad hoc. Like the WINS system they've got is kind of like it's trying to copy the IRD system, but it's not. Like I refer to my MSD as like using my IR in kids mode.
Right.
That's the best way of describing it. And the thing is, you sit there and explain to someone who's never had an interaction with MSD or use my